So coming into child's pose with your knees apart and your big toes together, you can settle your hips against your heels and then crawl your hands out in front. And once you arrive into your best child's pose, take the deepest breath in through the nose, filling up the lungs and the belly. And exhale, sigh it all out. And just let yourself sink really heavily into the floor, feeling really supported. And start to cultivate a long and even breath, evening out the inhales and the exhales equally. You might even close your eyes for the first part of practice if you don't need them. It kind of helps to seal in your own little container, looking inward rather than outward. If there's any kind of intention you wish to set today, any sort of energy that you would call in for yourself, maybe invoking a stronger sense of calm or strength or resilience, or if there's any kind of wish that you want to send out to somebody else, like sending a blessing, you can do that now. And on a deep breath in, reach your fingers forward as far as you can so you can kind of feel the stretch into the side bodies, and then start to draw them underneath your body. So coming into tabletop position. On an inhale, sink your belly towards the floor, raise your sit bones, raise your gaze. And on your exhale, round your spine, press away the floor. And move through a few cycles here, cat-cow, with your own breath and your own pace. Your own level of activation in the pressing of the floor, in the gripping of the fingers. And allow any kind of movement to come into this flow that feels nice in your body. So you might circle your rib cage or sink your heels toward, or sink your hips towards your heels. Just moving into the dark and stuck spaces within you, so using your intuition to find them. And returning back to a neutral tabletop position. Extend the right leg back and flex your toes towards your shin. Then move it over all the way towards the left and drop your toes down. And then start to look all the way over top of your left shoulder and press your right hips out. Deep breaths here. Pick up the right leg, and you're going to keep it extended and then drop your toes down so the knife edge of the foot is sealed down with the short edge of the mat. Then kickstand your left toes out towards the sides. Sweep your right hand forwards and bring it up over the right ear. Nice deep breath into the right side body. And on an inhale, rise up all the way. Slide your right hand down your right leg and reach over the left arm. You can press your left hip flexor forward. Inhale through center. Exhale, drop your hands back down. Return to your tabletop position. And we'll do the other side. So the left leg extends, flexing your toes to the shin. Then move it all the way out towards the right and drop your toes down. Start to peek over the right shoulder and just bend into that as much as feels comfortable for you. So kind of being intuitive again and seeking those stuck places. And inhale, pick up your left leg. Drop your toes back and down behind you. Pinky toe edge of the foot on the floor. Kicks down the right toes out to the right. Sweep the left hand forward over the left ear and gaze up towards the sky. Deep breaths in, expansive here. Like you want to broaden your chest and lengthen the line from your left toes to your left fingers. Now come light into the right fingertips and then rise yourself all the way up. Exhale to slide your left hand down your left thigh and the right arm over the right ear. Press your right hip flexor forward. This is gate pose. Good. Inhale, come through center. Exhale, drop your hands back down to the earth. Tabletop position, take one cat-cow to wash it away. Inhale, belly down. Exhale, press the spine up. Tuck under your toes and find downward facing dog. We're going to start to pedal the heels towards the floor or make any ritual movements, all the things you like to do in your first downward dog. You might sway the hips. And come back through center. On an inhale, rise up onto your toes. Then on your exhale, drop your heels over towards the right so the feet come into a parallel line. You can keep a bend into the knees here and then just start to press your bum back. So you're kind of like trying to stick out your bum, but keep the left palm really planted into the floor and almost like you're trying to press into the left palm. Good. Inhale, rise back up onto the toes and then drop the heels over towards the left. And then same thing, you're going to bend in the knees, stick out your bum towards the left and plant the right palm down and almost like press into it and kind of magnetize it back towards your feet at the same time. Good. Inhale, rise up on your toes. This time, tiptoe your feet to your hands at the top of the mat, coming into forward fold. So the knees will stay bent so that the chest and the belly can rest on top of the thighs, and then bring your hands into opposite elbow crease. Let everything hang heavily here. You can sway a little side to side. Release it down, release the hands. Inhale, lengthen, halfway lift, super long spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root into the feet, rise all the way up, reach your hands high. Exhale, hands in front of your heart. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands and step your feet back into plank or kneeling plank if you're feeling tired, and lower all the way down to your belly. Bring the shoelace part of the foot into the floor. Press in the hands. Inhale, peel up your chest. Exhale, lower down. And again, inhale, peel up your chest. Exhale, take it down. And we'll take Cobra one more time. Inhale, rise up as far as it feels nice in your body today. Exhale, lower it down. Tuck under your toes, find downward dog. Inhale, pick up the right leg, bend your knees, stack your hip, find hydrant pose. So the right hip stacks on the left, your right knee is the highest point in the posture, the left heel presses down towards the floor, and the right armpit presses towards the floor. On an exhale, step the right toes between your hands at the top of the mat. So right knee's on top of the right ankle. Inhale, glide your chest forwards, lengthen the spine, and then exhale, start to drag the hips back. And they might go back all the way, the leg might go straight, or it might not, but we're just looking for a stretch in the hamstring. So pull the left hip forward, shift the right hip back like you're plugging the bone into the socket. Inhale, bend the right knee, look forward, and then sidestep the right foot out so that both of your shoulders can be inside of your knee. Good, and we're gonna drag the hips back again. So just like the same hamstring stretch, only a little bit different. A little bit of a different orientation. Inhale, bend the right knee, flatten out the spine, walk the palms up a little bit, and then start to drag them back towards your body. So this kind of helps to level the pelvis closer to the floor. Now lower your left knee down, flex your right toes towards your right shin, and open up your knee to the side. So here you might come down a little bit deeper into the pose, or you might stay up high, just depending on how the hips are feeling. We'll stay here for 5 deep breaths in the lizard. So keep that breath really long and really intentional, always supporting you in the pose that you're in. So in these poses that have more of a yin feel to them, see if you can fall more heavily into your exhale, so you can kind of let go a little bit more as you breathe out. Letting go of tension, letting go of what holds you back. Yes. Inhale, press into the hands. Wiggle your foot back between your hands and then move your heel up about 4 inches. Flex the right toes towards the sky and then drag your hips backwards. So this is the half split pose. If you're feeling like you want to take your full splits today, go ahead. You can do that. If you're in the half split pose, you're trying to drag the left hip forward and push the right hip back so the hips are really level to the top of the mat. And then you can bow your chest in towards your legs. You want to try to have a straight, long spine here. Ardha Hanumanasana. 3 more good breaths here. See if you can almost like envision the muscles in the back of the leg lengthening with your inhale. And with your exhale, all the stickiness, all the tension melts away. You breathe it out. Great. Inhale, bend the right knee. And you're going to wiggle the right foot behind your left wrist and set up for pigeon pose. So you can move the ankle back as far as you need to. You do not need to have a parallel shin to the top of the mat. So we're going to find your way into your best pigeon and then settle there. And if pigeon really isn't appropriate for your hips today, I'm going to cue you into the deer pose. So everybody that needs pigeon, go to pigeon. Everybody else, lean into your right hip. Make a right angle with your right shin and a right angle with your left shin. And then you're going to lean your torso over top of the right leg. So this is the place that you would be for any kind of pigeon if it's just not good for your knees, if it's not good for your hips. Sometimes pigeon's too much. I had to take the deer pose for a very long time before pigeon was appropriate for my body. So you get to decide that for yourself. Okay, pressing into the hands, rise up. Tuck under your back toes, swing your right leg back, take 3-legged dog, and then fall back into the hydrant pose. So option 1, stay here, maybe wiggle your leg out. Option 2, you're going to drop your toes back and down behind you for rock star. So you get to pick. I know a lot of you said you're feeling tired today. Good, and then drop your right toes back down into your downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep your left leg up, bend the knee, find the hydrant pose. So again, leveling the shoulders towards the floor. The left shoulder usually has to press down here. And then every inhale, see if you can get the left knee a little bit higher and keep flexing your left toes towards the shin. The right heel presses down. And the space between the right heel and the left knee keeps growing. Deep inhale. Exhale, step your toes between your hands at the top of the mat. Good. Inhale to lengthen out the back. Exhale, drag your hips backwards and bow your chest. Good. Inhale, rebend the left knee. And then sidestep your foot out just a little bit. And we'll do the same thing. Inhale, broaden your chest forward. Exhale, drag your hips back. Inhale, rebend the left knee and start to move the hands up just a little bit, and then you'll drag the palms back towards you so that the pelvis sort of becomes level towards the floor. It helps to lengthen the spine a little bit too. And then lower the right knee down to the floor. Flex your left toes towards your shin, and you can open up your knee like you want to see what's on the bottom of your foot. And decide if you want to stay here, propped up nice and high with the chest, or you can come down lower onto the forearms. Nice deep breaths. Softening through the hips. And even if you can't really let go of the tension, just becoming aware of it. Just noticing exactly where you hold it. And then maybe playing with that a little bit. Just being like, hey, what if I relax that? Just see if you can. And maybe you can't. Inhale, press up on the hands. Walk your foot back between your palms and move your heel up about 4 inches. Flex your toes towards your shin, and then start to drag the hips back so you're going to feel the stretch in the back of the left leg again. And full splits available if you're feeling that today, go for it. Your full Hanuman, or just drawing that length into the back of the left leg. You might notice a difference between one leg and the other. It's just another thing to become aware of. Good. Inhale, rebend your left knee. Then wiggle your left foot all the way over towards the left wrist and find your way into either pigeon or deer pose. So if you love the deer pose, go there, or your best pigeon. And then in this posture, in all the postures, but in this posture especially, just be really aware of your edge. And notice if you're coming into the pose so deeply that your breath is affected. If it becomes harder to breathe or just more staggered, like there's too much sensation happening, that's not the kind of work that you want to be doing. You want to back off and keep it at like a 50 to 70% effort here. So the way that our bodies kind of open is that they need to feel safe. So if you're too tense, you're not going to fall into your parasympathetic nervous system. You're going to stay in the sympathetic, in the adrenaline phase. And that's not a place where healing can happen. So sometimes more is less. Less is more. All right, begin to press up into the hands. Tuck your right toes under. Swing the left foot back. Three-legged dog, kind of hang out here in the hydrant, or drop your left toes back and down behind and take rock star. You get to decide what's more healing for your body today. And we'll all meet back in downward facing dog. And we'll take the vinyasa to wash it all the way. So inhale, glide forwards at plank or kneeling plank. Exhale, lower halfway or all the way to the floor. Inhale, lift your chest for cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, take downward facing dog. Lower your knees nice and wide, bring the big toes together and find child's pose. Give your hips a little wiggle side to side. A little massage to the third eye. Reconnect with the breath and with your intention. Pressing into the hands, start to draw yourself all the way back up. So a lot of you have been running recently more and more, and it's beautiful out, so that's probably why. We're going to do a little bit of work on the feet today. So we're going to tuck under the toes, and if you find that your pinkies don't tuck well, just like manually tuck them. Just grab on and tuck them under, okay? So you're going to come into this little kneeling position and start to just sit there. And if this is something that you're new to, if this is something that you haven't practiced very much, you might find that it's really intense. So I would encourage you to not come out of it if you can, but if you have to, like, it's your body, it's your choice, okay? So something we're gonna work on while we're here is with the arms. Bring the arms out into a cactus shape, and then cross the right elbow over top of the left. So option one, the backs of the palms can be together. Option two, you'll wrap the palms in towards each other. Yeah, eagle arms. With your eagle, inhale to pick it up. Exhale, lower the elbows down, and then press the hands away from your face. Deep breaths into the whole back of your body. And see if you can find more space in the lungs so that you can stretch from the inside out. And then turn just the upper part of your torso over towards the right or the left. And then inhale, draw it all the way over towards the right. Come back through center, unravel the arms, and lean forward. So we're gonna release the toes and just give them a little tapping against the floor. Just tap, 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 bring back the blood. And then a little counter pose, you're gonna lean back and just come onto the tops of the feet, any amount. So you're just gonna kind of stretch backwards on the toes. You can support with the hands, or you can kind of like play in the balance without the hands if you want to. Good, and then coming back, we'll go right back into it. So tuck under those little toes and the stubborn pinkies. Good. Setting yourself up, and then bring the arms to cactus. Deep breath in. Exhale, this time left elbow over top of the right, backs of the palms together or fronts of the palms together. Eagle arms. Inhale, pick it up. Exhale, lower the elbows and press the hands away from your face. Nice deep breaths, like accessing all of the little muscles connected to the traps, and you can kind of just find your own interesting little stretch within the stretch and bring it back. Pull the arms over towards the right, just the upper torso turns. So it's almost like you're getting more into your left tricep a little bit here, pulling through the deltoid even. Inhale back through center, and exhale, take it over towards the left. Inhale through center. How are the toes? Let's release the arms, shake it out, and then you can lean forward, release your toes, and give them that little tap again. And maybe lean back into them to stretch them the other way. running a lot, I think this is a really nice one that kind of helps to ward off the plantar fasciitis or a lot of the tightness in the calves and ankles and just problems that can arise from that. All right, so back onto hands and knees. Extend the right toes back, so nice long leg, then curl the right knee into the back of the left knee. And here, you can come down to forearms if the arms are feeling tired. But you're gonna start to just like move your knee right to left, up and down in a nice little circle, and search out for these little pockets of pain that you might have in your quads. By quads, I mean calves. And so when you find these little knots, you're going to pause and let your knee sink in, and then maybe start to even bend your heel towards your hip on top of those little pockets of pain, so that you can shear up the muscles and you can break them apart. And really, really, it's important here to breathe and to tell your body that it's safe and that you're doing the good work. So see if you can relax your face as you go through this. And just keep some of the lightness in the breath, the ease. It's like when you're doing something unpleasant, but you just force yourself to think happy thoughts. It makes it better. And maybe it's not unpleasant. You know, if you do this enough, it doesn't hurt so much anymore. Great, let's release that one. So just tuck under your left toes and give it a nice stretch back into the calves, and you can press the hips up into a modified downward dog. And just feel that nice stretching out there. And we'll come back to earth and we'll do the other side. So this time the left leg stays long. Bend your left knee and tuck it into the crook of the right. And start searching for little knots. And notice again here, notice if one leg is tighter than the other. And you can just maybe think about why. And I find that often my right leg is tighter than my left leg. It's my dominant side. And if I really started to notice, it's like the side that I would demo most yoga poses on for my classes. It's the side that I take the first step onto the stairs with, things like that. Just working it down. When you find them again, heel to hip, give it a little shearing. Try from some different angles that heel to hip motion. Then release this side. We'll stretch the right toes back. Come into that version of the modified dog and just play with it. Feel that new stretching, that new open gooiness in your calf muscle. Good. And then step into regular downward dog and pedal your heels again, just like you did in the start of class. Just notice if it is a little bit more open now. Now lower yourself down to a seat and we'll take the legs apart. So pressing your fingers back and down behind you and flex your toes up towards the sky. Lift your sternum, take a deep breath in, and then hinging forward, just see how far you get. If you're starting to get kind of far and the fingers are coming off of the floor, then reach your hands forward and you can come deeper into this posture. So every inhale, see if you can lengthen the spine just a little bit. And every exhale, that intentional letting go. So tuning into where you feel the tension and just seeing with your mind if you can almost loosen it, like you're telling your body to let go. Inhale, come back, you're seated. And then take your right arm just on top of your right shin or inside it. That makes it a little bit more intense. The left arm will come over top of the left ear and lean all the way over towards the right side. So you might be up high, or you may be able to reach for your foot with both hands and just turn your bottom ribs under, gaze towards the sky. Keep bringing the right ribs through. And imagine that if I was there practicing with you, I might place my hand or my knee to your left hip crease so that you are pinned down and can expand out of that place. And if I was there and I did that, I'd probably press a little bit on your right lung forward so that you could turn in a little deeper. Inhale, come through to the center, and exhale, we'll take it to the other side. So the left arm comes down on or inside the left shin, the right arm comes over the right ear. And you may or may not reach for your foot, but you have to turn your bottom ribs under. And you can gaze to the sky. Unless it doesn't feel nice, then keep the gaze neutral. And again, pretend I'm just standing on your right hip crease. So that hip stays down, and this long line comes from hip crease to right fingers. Inhale, pick it up. And you're going to gather the legs together, cross the right leg over top of the left, and you can stay here like this. We're going to move into a twist, or if you like to bend the left leg underneath, you can do that too. So plant the right hand down by your right hip. Inhale, pick up the left arm. Exhale, twist to the right. And you can use your elbow to traction yourself deeper. Use your breath to keep being taller on the inhales. Twisting deeper on the exhales. Inhale, come through the center. Exhale, take a little twist over to the left. So you might have a little wiggle, just an unwinding of the spine, like a counter pose. And keep the shape in the legs. Inhale back through center. So if you didn't bend your bottom leg, bend it in now. And you don't have to be symmetrical here, but we're moving to Gomukhasana, the shoelace pose. So what you want is to stack the knees. As much as you can wiggle your bum. If you have a block, you might sit on it here if this is a little bit too much on the hips. So again, you don't have to be symmetrical at all. You're gonna let the feet splay out to the sides. You can decide if you wanna stay here upright, this might be enough in the outer hips, or to take a little bit more, you might explore folding forward. And if you're folding forward, try to keep the spine nice and long so you have that little pelvic tilt happening. Deep breaths, again, supporting the pose. So keeping it soft, letting your body know that it is safe. Inhale, all the way back up. You're gonna lean into the hands and just cross the legs the other way. So again, if you took the twist with the bottom leg straight on the last one, you can do that again, or you can keep it tucked up and under. Plant the left hand down. Inhale, pick up right hand. Exhale, twist over to the left. Keep letting your inhales grow you taller here. Your exhales twist you deeper, and keep challenging your lungs to breathe and to breathe deeply. even though it's a little bit harder. Inhale, come through the center. Exhale, take a little twist to the right, so just a wiggle. Unwind the spine. Inhale back through center. Keep the shape in the legs, tuck the bottom leg under if it isn't already. You're gonna wiggle the feet apart, splaying them out to the side. And if your left hip happens to be up off of the floor, that's totally okay. It doesn't have to be down. It should be, I mean it could be. If it can be, do that. You can elevate the hips if this feels like too much. Take a deep breath in and out. And decide if it would be good for your body to start to hinge forward. And if it is, you can do that, hinging forward. Inhale, bring yourself all the way back up. Going to uncross the legs. And the next posture we'll take is happy baby. So you can just roll onto your back. Catch your feet into your hands. You can hang on to the insides or the outsides. And then being really intuitive here, you can rock and roll around or play with straightening one or both legs. And then gather your legs in front of your belly. Give yourself a nice tight squeeze. And then make that cactus shape with the arms again onto the floor and drop your knees over towards the left side. So you're having a little revolve belly twist. And feel free to take this twist as deep as you want to. So to deepen it, you might straighten your bottom leg and then let the top leg fall a little bit closer towards the floor. But no matter what kind of twist you're taking, just make sure that it feels really good in your body. And soften the shoulders, soften your chest. And feel how supportive the earth is below you. And how if you will let her, she will hold you. She will carry you. Unravel, come back through center into that nice tight ball with the cactus arms, and then drop your knees towards the right. And make the twist any shape that feels nice for you. And here, relax through your abdomen. Relax through your quads. And can you embody the exhale even deeper? And rolling onto your back. Now extending your legs out, splayed open, taking up so much space. Find your way into Shavasana, the final pose. Make any little fidgets or adjustments to find your way into a place of perfect stillness. If you need a blanket, take a blanket. Now fully settle all of the bones into the earth. And relax the muscles so deeply it feels as if they are falling away from the bones. Relax your face. Relax the tongue away from the roof of the mouth. Know that you are held. You are safe. You are supported always. here for a few moments. I'll bring you back when it's time. And start to bring some awareness back to your physical form. And take the deepest breath in through the nose, filling up the lungs and the belly all the way. And then a deepest sigh, exhale, releasing. Allow some movement back into the fingers and toes, just wiggling gently. And then a gentle rock with your head from side to side. On a deep breath in, stretch the arms overhead to activate, to come alive like your first stretch in the morning. And on an exhale, roll onto the right side, finding the fetal position, supporting your head with your arm, resting here for a few breaths. Restacking the bones and the muscles, settling into earth. And today we observe Earth Day. A day where we honor our earth, our home, and our connections with her. We are not separate. We are supported by her. As we are not separate from each other, we are different, but we're all connected. And we are not alone. When you're ready, make your way up into a seat and fold your hands in front of your heart. And thank you all for joining the practice today. I love seeing your faces, even if it's just through a screen. Have the best day, the best rest of your week. Namaste.